Here's a lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
Looting through the rubble, leaving cities war-torn, still incurring war scorn. Ragged and I'm forlorn, trying to unlock this. Open with my lockpicks, punching with my second hand every time the clock ticks.
All right, there you go.
Hello everyone, give me a moment, and I'm sorry for the low voice, to get adjusted here with the audio. Also, because of the location I'm in, and the fact that I play music in the background, do not be surprised if the stream just ends because of copyright stuff, because the building has the copyright to play these songs, but I don't. So, there's all of that going on, so just be careful, you know, because, like, you know, if we had proper DMCA, people would realize that I'm in a public place right now, but they don't. They just think that I'm just trying to steal all their music and records and stuff. Then hopefully all of you folks can hear me out there as well as I get set up here. And for once, I'm actually using natural sunlight here. So that's another one of these things. And I just hope everybody can hear me. I'm going to try to test that in a moment. Okay, I think everyone can hear me. I'm just trying to make sure. Can chat, if you can hear me, let me know. And then I'm going to send out a test message, and I think it will be good. This is going to be a very short stream, especially because I am currently testing this out. I will also be surprised if after this video gets published if parts of it get muted. And hi, Dark Arts Lockpicking. Morning to you is afternoon to me is 7:21. We're probably only going to stream for about 30-40 minutes, which is fine because I do have a snag in terms of what our topic's going to be today. So, hi everybody. Okay, awesome. Hi everyone. And also, I can't believe I always forget to do this. This is not Crypto Barons. Like, I love Crypto Barons. We tried to do that during Polkadot, but coded, but we're not Crypto Barons, we're Master of Unlocking. Let's change this logo right now. And then we're going to probably have to resize the logo. There we go, that is a lot better. Let's put you up here, and shrink you down here. There we go, I think that works. So hi everybody, welcome back to the stream. I know it's been a while. I literally have not live streamed since my birthday back in April, and it's July now. So that's 2 months, like 2+ months that have gone by. But welcome to here. For all of you who don't know and are just tuning in, my name is Sidepocket. That's what people on the interwebs call me. I am one of the 2 co-founders of DCG 201, or what's formerly known as DEF CON 201 or DC 201. We are a computer hacker collective group that's based in Jersey City, New Jersey, hence the 201 area code in our name. And we normally meet once every 3rd Friday of the month. In fact, we are going to be meeting, if I can look at the calendar, on the 15th, so next Friday. And it's going to be our pre-Hackers on Planet Earth special, as well as some other topical things. We're going to be meeting both in person and hybrid. And what I mean by hybrid is we will be meeting in person, and if everything goes well, we'll also be live streaming a portion of the meeting. There'll be content on each side. It'll be pretty neat. In addition, we try to stream special interest group shows like this, and this is probably the most popular and others show, which is called the Master of Unlocking, where even though I am technically not a Master of Unlocking, I am an instructor. I am a lockpicking locksport, and I'm also a member of TOOOL, which is the Open Organization of Lockpickers. And this is the show where I teach how physical security works, how locks work, and how to test and possibly crack, bypass, and pick open various locks. If you've seen shows like Lockpicking Lawyer or Lock Noob out there, Fish Picks, and even like other groups that are semi-interested in it, such as SC Lock and Key, or what's that? Not Poor Vinegars. There's a magician collective that does one of the DEF CON villages. I can't remember their name right now, but if you've seen any of that, that's basically the show. It's done live via me as an instructor, and you get to see me fail on stream in real time. And if you want to know more information about us, our website is currently being redone, so I just posted a link to the blog in our chat. Also on all social media, such as our Twitter at DEFCON201NJ, and we're basically DEFCON201 on everything else, such as our Instagram, Sucks.social instance of Mastodon, GitHub, Minds.com, all of that. I am posting a major link tree in chat, so you can know all of that going on. And then the other thing is that if you like the content that you're going to see tonight, even though this is going to be a very short stream, although I promise later this month, the next episode is going to be a much longer stream, way longer. It might be one of the longest streams we've ever done. But if you like what you see, you can click subscribe, and follow us completely for free on Twitch, Live, and YouTube. We're also streaming on a bunch of other platforms, such as the Diode Zone instance of PeerTube, which is awesome. And unfortunately, we also stream on Facebook, because sometimes you have to go where the confused people are. If you are on Facebook and you do want to chat with us, there is a link that you can use in order to chat with us, but you kind of have to hack Facebook in a way in order for it to work. And I just posted that link in chat, so you can join us if you're on Facebook. A couple other house cleaning notes. One, I love an active chat. If you have any questions about where I am, what I'm doing, why is the sun weird, why do I look like I'm like trying to hide under cover, am I being hunted by the FBI, all of that, you can ask in chat. I'm happy to stop whatever I'm doing when I'm talking in order to explain things, as long as it's not bad trolling. Okay? I like clever jokes, not bad trolling. If you are a lurker, just someone who just likes to hang out and figure things out, well, as I always keep saying on the show, as I move up here, keep lurking and keep learning. Finally, all this month, from the 1st of January, technically, I'm sorry, 1st of January, that's how lost I've been. 1st of July, all the way to the end of August, which includes Hackers on Planet Earth and DEF CON coverage that we're going to be doing. We are trying to raise funds because obviously we are upset about the SCOTUS ruling, because never mind abortion stuff, the whole root of the whole Roe versus Wade ruling was privacy. They can act, by the way, fun thing, because they overruled Roe versus Wade, now the federal government, the federal United States government, can spy on any United States citizen, which also couples with the Patriot Act, in your bedroom, and they're going to say that they're trying to look for hanky-panky, but they can literally use that excuse to spy in your home whenever they want now. And also, they're using Roe v. versus Wade as a test bed in order to knock out other laws. Maybe they'll knock out the Fourth Amendment next. Who knows? This is a huge freaking problem. So to not only help out our awesome hackers who happen to have uteruses, as well as just the overall disgust of what's going on, we are raising funds for the National Abortion Federation charity drive. They're a really cool group that basically gives funds and research and training to medical centers in order to safely perform abortions for those who need it. They also work with groups like the ACLU and other organizations in order to combat what's been going on with the ruling. So, if you want to donate to that, there's multiple ways you can. If you are on Twitch, you can scroll down. There's a little widget that you can use in order to directly donate to us. If you have your mobile phone and that's the way you want to do it, you can scan that QR code at the corner of the screen right there, and that will take you to the donation page. And finally, for everyone else, I am going to post the donation link directly into chat here. You can click on that. Now, if you have like 20 or 100 or $1 billion and you want to donate to help out all our federal hackers with uteruses, as slowly the United States turns into the book 1984, because it was already the prelude to that for many centuries, but now the mask is slid completely off. Please donate that. But a lot of times the way we reach our donation goal, and we're setting it really low, we're setting it to $400 in the span of 2 months. And I think after, when hope happens, we'll probably hit that goal. But we often hit these goals when people just donate $1 or $3 or $5. So every little bit counts. Don't think that just because, oh, I don't have like $1 million, I only have like $2, I can still donate that $2 if you can, if you're able to. Because I'm broke too, I know what that's like. So yeah, we're just trying to do stuff for a good cause. Dark Arts says the United States residents are losing all forms of privacy by the look of it. Yes, we are. It literally started with truly started for like the first real domino. There's been little bits of leading to that, especially with our history of racism and classism and oppression, but it really hit modern day with the Patriot Act, and now we're seeing kind of the end causes of it. So, a little bit of house cleaning before I get into what we're going to do. We're going to stream roughly for like a half an hour. Again, this could be probably the shortest stream we've ever done, because the reason why I tried to do it from 6 to 8, and again, sorry for being delayed, I had an issue with my storage unit, is because if you haven't noticed, I am not at the DCG 201 house anymore. I am at a Starbucks, which is why I'm worried about being DMCA'd by the music in the background. People here at Starbucks are very calm, very nice. It's a lovely Starbucks. I'm actually in a nice area. Now, I can't move. Besides, even if I had the option to move out of this country, I'm a patriot. I truly love this country. And you can tell I truly love this country because, this country meaning the United States, because to me, when you truly love something or someone, you cannot stand to see them do something awful. Like, for example, I love video games. That's one of my biggest passions. So, of course, I'm super pissed at predatory microtransactions. I'm pissed at the conditions that various game developers have put themselves in when it comes to crunch and not being paid enough and being sexually harassed and physically harassed, regardless of gender. I don't want, these like these mining facilities in Africa where they have children mine for raw materials and die to just make our components for our Xbox One X's and Nintendo Switch. I'm mad at those, and that's because I truly love video games. And it's the same way with the United States. I love this country, and I love the people in it, and the freedoms that we are lied to that we have, that I wish would be truly codified, that even if I had the option to leave, I'm staying here and fighting. That's going to be my thing. I will literally bleed for my country here, physically, digitally, mentally, whatever, in order to do that. Well, weed brownies, but we also have them here too, especially in New Jersey. So you're probably wondering why I'm at a Starbucks. I'm trying to get all that out of the way because I'm just trying to answer the question. So basically, there's a lot of factors that led to this, but long story short, I don't have a home anymore. I am legally homeless. For the past basically, just for the curious out there, I really hate my old landlords. So glad I'm away from them. And even if I could afford the money to live there, they hated me too. So they just wanted me out. So I left, parted ways. Good luck to whoever lived in our old building, because that building is literally going to fall apart this next year or three. I'm not kidding. I have the picture proof. You can literally see the line cracks where you can tell in 5 years the whole front of the building is just going to slide off and fall into the abyss. Just going to injure a lot of people below it, like it did earlier on when bricks fell off the front of it. That's a whole story for another time. And I've essentially been couch surfing and even living on the streets of Jersey City for the past 2 weeks. And it's not been bad, actually. And no, I have not used lockpicking to break into places that I'm not going to go. We're going to get into that in a moment because we're going to go over the 2 rules. I'm not in the best position right now, but I'm going to get through this. Thank you for everyone who was concerned and reached out to me, and thank you for who's been supporting me this so far. And again, like, I even had people who are like, hey, I want to donate money, and you could do that, but I would rather you donate to the charity above to help out my fellow hackers who have uteruses, and fellow countrymen who happen to have uteruses, than to anything that goes to me. So I just wanted to be very transparent that the reason why I went on hiatus for 2 months is I've been looking for another home, could not find another home, left my old place. I get to live in a storage unit that's very nearby, very nice storage unit, and then at night I'm just bumming around. And that's why we're at a Starbucks instead of at someone's home. In the future episodes, if I'm not in a home yet, I will probably be at someone else's place live streaming, or maybe we'll be back at the Starbucks. We'll see. And again, there's a lot of stuff that's been happening to a lot of people in Locksport lately, and I will put it this way. Me being okay with being homeless is way better than, let's say, the fine person who runs Lock Camp, whose wife died recently, which is very public, that he publicized all of that. That's why I mentioned that. Or trying to remember which other Locksport person, because I shouted them out, his daughter passed away. There's worse situations out there. So I'm just being transparent of why there's hippie music and why we're at a Starbucks. So anyhow, let's actually get into what we're going to look into today. Now, before we go in, I have to go over the rules again, okay? And so even though this is not a Tool sponsored nor Tool created stream, that's the open organization of lockpickers, I subscribe to the 2 rules that Tool uses. Most lockpicking orgs, I find, that aren't even Tool, subscribe to these 2 rules just because they make so much sense for everybody. And I realize how dirty Ooh, dirty the camera is. I'm getting a new camera soon, by the way. I'm gonna get a new laptop streaming PC. Because here's the weird part, by the way. Before I get into the two rules, my job stuff has been going great. Like, I'm working, I make money. And I actually not only has gotten a raise and other bonuses because of my hard work, but I'm actually also getting promoted. So I'm literally like the richest homeless person. That's why I'm here at a Starbucks. And I found out that especially in New York City, even though I'm in New Jersey, I'm not alone. There's a ton of people out there who like are like making 5 figures, but because of how awful the housing market is, and we're about to hit a major recession in the United States that's going to make 2008 look like some like tea party with some girls. Um, that there's just these people who have jobs, they have insurance, they're not drug addicts like myself, but they just can't afford a home because of how bad the housing market is. I'm hoping that in 2 months I will have the pay stubs with my raise and potential promotion that I'll be able to get a place finally. Hopefully where I live by myself. And that way I can stream all the time without anyone disturbing me, and it'll be truly up to bad tech issues of why I'm late. So let's actually get into the streaming and our today's topic, and let me go over the 2 rules, okay? So the first rule is that do not pick locks that you rely on. I'm going to repeat that again because there's some chattering going on. Do not pick locks that you rely on. You have no idea how many times I've taught this stuff, and the first thing, even when I tell them about this rule, that people want to do is they want to pick their front door lock, which is funny because of today's theme. They want to pick, their gym locker, stuff like that. Don't. When you pick a lock, you wear down that mechanism, it's likely to be more able to break. You might break your tools, which is the inevitability that you use to lockpick. You might do both. And also, every lockpicking and bypassing technique that you do on a lock will make that lock more susceptible for those same techniques. So do not pick locks that you rely on. Second of all, do not pick locks that you don't own. If you are walking out there and you're like, oh, I saw it on Master of Unlocking with that side pocket guy. That's the blah, blah, blah he talked about. I bought that tool that's called blah, blah, blah that he used. Don't do that. No matter how bad the lock security is out there, there's a reason why there's a lock on that door for that object. They don't want you there. Even if it was open and you went through, that's trespassing, okay? That's other people's property. Despite my ability of doing that and being homeless, I have not once picked any lock to get into somewhere just to have a roof over my head, which actually makes me more proud about surviving everything, to be honest. So, yeah, that saves your ass legally, that saves my ass legally. It's a good safety thing, especially if you're brown like I am. Do not pick locks that you don't own. So once again, do not pick locks that you rely on, and do not pick locks that you don't own. Every lock that you have seen right now, in past episodes and in future episodes, are locks that I own, that I train on, that I give permission to my students and also to you folks on the live stream in order to use and observe, in order to learn and improve lockpicking and locksmith techniques. Okay? So now that we have that, I'm going to move, this is going to be the weird part, I'm going to move the camera over to the stand, and we have some beautiful natural sunlight that should hopefully highlight what we're going to be talking about today. And let me take a quick swig of water, and I'm going to talk about what we're talking about today. So as I said, and let me send one more test message just to make sure I'm not blocked yet. Alright, if the DMCA gets me, they're going to do it like after the stream when everything's recorded. Watch. So, as I said, I used to live somewhere. Now, here's the interesting thing about our apartment. We had a lot of interesting things about our apartment, right? And one of the big interesting things about our apartment is the fact that we had custom doorknobs. G.I. Jack and I reached out to one of my big mentors and longtime friend, Nite0wl, who now basically, as far as I understand, because he won in a landslide in the TOOOL elections, he basically runs TOOOL now, or at least is one of the main people. Like the joke when he won is like Nite0wl's already busy enough. Watch, I'm going to say his name, he's going to pop up. And now he basically runs TOOOL by himself, and he's so busy that I swear to fuck, if he leaves his apartment/office and he sees his own shadow, that means we have like 6 more extra months of like, I'm trying to think of a relevant term. There's like 6 more extra months of like lockpicking lawyer videos. Like it's that sort of thing where he's just so busy. And we reached out to him and be like, hey, the original doorknobs we had are absolute shit. In fact, the other 2 doors to access, our landladies did not even have the keys to. And when I tested them, I believe they were broken. Like they opened and stuff, but even if we had the key would be hard to use. And by the way, I'm wearing a hat to keep the glare out of my face. What's also cool about this hat, it has a lamp. So, he made these incredible Schlage locks. And according to him, he made these locks in such a secure way that people who know and are experienced with lockpicking will be cursing trying to pick these. So they're designed so that even if you, I don't know about lockpicking lawyer level, because lockpicking lawyers like in Alpha Centauri, he's like sitting on like a throne on a cloud above like the giant snake dragon that gives you wishes after you collect the Dragon Balls. Like, I don't know about that. But if you are Joe P. Lockpicker like myself, or any others, or, you know, S. Christina Palmer or something, you would be frustrated trying to pick these. He basically made, I guess, his own version of Dom locks. And so that's what we had on our door. Now, I don't live there anymore. And when I get a new place, I'm either going to create my own new door locks, or I'm already going to have a door lock that I can't change due to legal reasons on the lease. So now they're mine. I own them, and I have permission to pick them. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at my old door locks and see how truly of a pain in the ass they are to pick. Now, in the original episode announcement, I said that we were going to pick and gut these. Not only did we not have time to gut them, even though I did bring my repinning kit, I have 2 snafus with that thing. Minor one, I'm missing 2 things from my repinning kit now. I can't find the tweezers, and I could use normal tweezers, but I can't find my specific pinning tweezers, which there's another bag that has the rest of the lockpicking stuff that I don't know where it is, so I have to look in my storage unit for it. So probably when the Hope episode happens, I'll know where it is. But the biggest one that I have lost for months is I don't have my cylinder that both has the cranials that open up Schlags, which I don't really need. I could just depress the pin and unscrew it, but even better, that tube is the exact size for Schlags to use as a follow-up. So I would have a hard time taking this apart without everything flying everywhere in the Starbucks. So that's at number 1. Number 2, and this is more important, is that it's no secret that ex-DCG 201 member, who unfortunately we had to disassociate from, and was my ex-roommate, Cell, lived with us. There's a bunch of hackers that lived with us, including him. When I left and the landladies needed the keys, I had to give him the keys. So, redemption song. I know. I'm going to do another test in chat because I'm so worried about DCMA. I'm pretty sure we're going to get banned from everything because of this, but I don't have a choice at Starbucks. Again, they've been really nice. They have to do this. Like, they can't turn it off even if they want to because it's, like, built in from corporate, as they also have scanned their brain waves for activity. They're basically Amazon, okay? Amazon for coffee. Let's put that. But let's go back to the topic. I gave him all the keys, and that included the keys for this door lock. I forgot to put the key in. I was going to ask for it back, but truth be told, I had an altercation after the move, and so I forgot to ask for them back. And he's supposed to have been back to take more stuff out of my storage unit, because he has some of his stuff in my unit. That's part of the tension there. I'm just being very transparent with everybody. Yep, Bob Marley's cool. Very peaceful. I wish we need him more than ever right now. There's a lot of people. Him, George Carlin, Princess Diana. We need a lot of people right now. Aaron Schwartz especially. But so unless I somehow pick this lock open, normally the way you would disassemble a lock is after you take it apart, you would use the key to twist it so the pins are not They're parallel to each other, and then use the follower to bring it out. Without that key, I can't do that, and my ex-roommate has that key. We will do a follow-up episode where we will disassemble that lock on here. It might be paired with another topic. Maybe we'll disassemble two different things. I also have a bunch of new topics coming up, which I'll mention at the end of the episode. But that's why we're not going to take apart this lock. Instead, I'm going to quickly re-explain how lockpicking works because it's been 2 months. Then we're going to take a look at what makes a door nut lock different from like a padlock. Then we're going to take a look at the locks in question. I'm just going to keep picking it until we're kind of near the time of having to leave. So I'm now going to, after the 2 rules of do not pick locks that you don't rely on, and do not pick locks that you don't own. You get that, right? We're cool with it? Good. I'm going to move the camera over to the mount, and with the still remaining natural light, we should hopefully be able to see everything. So here we go. So I'm sorry if this looks very trippy here. Ah, you're flying! You're flying! Oh, the cord's stuck. Hold on. Let me put you down for a moment. Try to get the cord loose. There we go. Flying! Ah, alright. And you got this. Thank you for flying, Hacker Airlines. Whoop. There we go. So, again, I'm going to get a new camera system, and I actually might go back to using my phone as a zoom camera, which we won't need to today because we're not disassembling the lock. This is my everyday carry that I have shown on previous episodes. It's also really nice using natural lighting for once. I usually use the stand. The stand is the O-ring light. But this is my everyday carry that I dedicated an entire episode to when I got this new one. And we'll be using it to get the lock. And even though I don't think we're going to need it, this case is my old lockpicking everyday carry case, or EC. And this has mainly bypasses and some other tools that I don't commonly use and other tools that can't fit into this guy. So, let's move things to the side. Let me quickly load up something else in here. No. Sorry, just give me a moment. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Alright. So we're probably going to live stream for about 20 to 30 more minutes just to let everyone know. Again, this is going to be a quick episode. And here we go. So let's use my offset diamond, which I prefer to use, to be honest. We're going to take out this is like the Bob Ross where he lists the colors, right? We're going to take out the, see, and the light's lower. I kind of wish I had like a, which we streamed a little bit earlier, like I was trying to. I'm going to take out the actual half diamond. Oh, sorry, this is the offset hybrid. This is actually, if we might need a more advanced tool that kind of swoops in low. Just to demo about how pain in the ass this lock's going to be, I am going to take out the worm break, which is based off of a Bogota. It's just more shaved down. And let's see if there's any other. So we're going to use the thick tuning tool to start off with. And is there any specialty locks? Let's take out the Medusa hybrid. Let's take out the strike picks because that will be an interesting experiment with these guys. Almost all these tools, except right now the really thick L tension wrench tool twist I got from Sparrows. Just because I like their tools. I think they're a good balance of affordability to quality. But, you know, whatever works for you, works for you. Experiment. I experimented a lot before I kind of settled in with Sparrows. And this is a 15,000th of an inch. This is a medium hook, just in case we have to reach around certain things. We're going to perform the reach around. And also, very lastly, let's add another tension tool. Let's do a top of the keyway gnarled pry bar, just so that, you know, we have some variety here. Now, because it's been a while, I want to remind everyone on how a lock actually works. In this case, we have a clear padlock that I use for visual demonstration purposes. And chat says, I'm waiting for my new order to arrive today. Some more bypass tools because I don't have enough equipment already. No, trust me. My lockpicking case, which now has wheels, is roughly halfway done. And that case, and it's part of the insurance on the, is definitely part of the insurance on the storage unit. There is at least $400+ worth of stuff in that case, and it's already half done. I'm hoping by the end of the year that I'm able to finish it, even if stuff is still arriving in the mail because the United States and their sanctions and crap. So yeah, that's kind of a whole ordeal as it is. So I feel your pain there. Basically, lock sport and lock picking is a hobby, in my opinion, that's can be extremely cheap to get into. But when you become really dedicated in it, especially if you want to teach in it, it becomes really expensive really fast. Or as Hunter S. Thompson once said, which I think describes every hacking conference like DEF CON 30 coming up, you don't need all of these things in order to have a good time. But when you start having a serious drug, aka lock sport collection, you tend to push it as far as you can go. You have a shop full and a vehicle full. Yep. Well, you actually, and by the way, I'm going to get into that. When we get to the locks itself, I'm going to kind of give a little bit of history of Nite0wl, a bit who he is if you don't know who he is, and sort of how I found him and stuff like that, just so you get the background. So let's quickly teach. We're going to stream to like maybe 8:20, 8:30 my time, which is Eastern Standard Time, of how locks work as a refresher. So, as you can see, this is completely clear. If you were able to have X-ray vision, this is what the inside of the lock looks like. And I'm going to quickly go through all the stuff in here. This is known as a pin tumbler lock. This is inside of, like, I want to say 92 to 97% of all locks on the planet are set up like this, especially modern day ones, like starting since like the 60s. Maybe even like 20s, but definitely the 60s. All of them are like this. So what you have is you have a tumbler core, which is where it gets its name from. Up here you have the Bible, which has a bunch of springs pushing down for tension. That way you can install it either way, and the gravity and the pressure on it will still be the same. In fact, ancient locks had a problem where the easiest way to defeat them was to turn them upside down, which made the lock inert, and then you push the pins and then open the lock. That's a fun thing. Now, inside that Bible, you'll notice there's two things. So up on the top here, if I do it at the right angle, and again, I'm sorry, this is the crappy camera, but if you look at the top here, you can see they look like little soda cans. Those are called driver pins. Now, something I like about Locksport is that almost everything in Locksport, unlike info security, is named exactly what it is. So these driver pins is because they drive the mechanism up and down. As I turn to open the lock, you can see there are these like little bullets in there. You see that little holes along the bottom here. And if I look inside the lock itself, you can, and I tilt it right, you can see what looks like a little bullet in the keyway. I know it's hard to see on this camera, but it is there. It's right here at the top of the keyway. That is called a key pin, and they're called that because they actually contain something as a key. And this setup is a cylinder in basically a cylinder. So how does this work? Well, you'll notice that these little soda cans, the key pins and driver pins, some of them are really high up, some of them are really low, and that is how it's preventing it, because there's a gap in between the smaller circle, the cylinder, and the bigger cylinder. So these metal pieces are stuck between the gap, which means, and I'll use a tension tool to show you all this, no matter how much pressure I will ever put, I will break this tension tool long before I ever turn the cylinder. I cannot break the pins in it. Superman could not break the pins in it. And that's not because he's not strong enough. It's not because your average master lock can beat Superman in a physical test of strength. It's literally because that's how physics work. In fact, I want to kind of get into like fictional stuff and locks in the future episode. Maybe we'll do that at MagFest or a future convention. We'll see. So that's why you can't just open any lock willy-nilly. Well, if you ever looked at a key, you may have noticed that there's these little carving bumps that go up and down. This is known as a bidding, okay? These little up and down mountain crevices. And the reason for that is because when you have a key that is keyed to this specific lock, see how all these are like erratic up and down? When I put the key, sorry, I'm trying to get this on focus and cam. You'll see how like all the key pins and driver pins are all erratic up and down. Watch what happens when I put in the key. You notice how all the soda cans are lined completely on top. All those key pins that you can't see are lined up completely on the bottom. And they're lined up so that the gaps between the key pin and the driver pins are exactly at that shear line where the smaller cylinder meets the bigger cylinder. That means there's now a gap between the two, which allows you to rotate the cylinder. When you rotate the cylinder, that activates the mechanism in the lock that releases the lock and turns it from locked into unlocked. Now, what happens if you don't have the key? Well, that's what lock sport and lock picking comes in. Basically, what you have to do is in lock sport and lock picking, you are replicating what the key does. And the two things the key does is it has these mountain up and down ridges, and it has a fat bottom in order for it to turn. So we need to replicate its turning, and we need to replicate the moving the pins up and down like the binning does. So to replicate the turning, you use a tension tool. There's two different types. There's a bomb the keyway one and a tap the keyway one. I usually prefer bomb the keyway unless there's a unique thing to the lock, like high security, which we're about to deal with. And you put that in this case the bottom of the lock, and you just put a little bit of tension on these lower security locks like this one. And the amount of tension you do, I can fetch someone to do it, but we're on live stream. So the way I'd say it is that visually, it's just enough when the cylinder turns and stops. As soon as it stops turning, that's enough pressure. The easy way to describe it is take a piece of paper, hold up on your finger against the wall. The least amount of pressure that you need to use to hold that piece of paper up against the wall is that amount of tension. Lastly, about tension of any type, even if you're an expert, even if you're a lock-picking lawyer or deviant okay? If you're putting tension on this tension wrench and your finger starts turning white, you officially are putting way too much tension on that tension wrench. Ease up on it. Take a break. So we're going to put a little bit of tension on it. Now, normally I would also hold this padlock like this because it's just easier, less stress on my hand, easier to hold, and I have complete control over the tension. But because I want to visually show everyone at home, I'm holding it in a stupid way. So I'm going to use these fingers to do the tension, just show everybody. Now, with the tension, what's happening here is it's seizing up all the pins. And if you'll notice, because this is clear, when you look at this upper part where you see the drill holes for the key pins, driver pins, and springs, you will notice that it is not a straight line. In fact, if I take the turning tool out and I put a straight line next to it, you will see that it is not straight at all. It is, in fact, very gay, because we just had pride. No, I'm kidding. Some of them are off center left, off of them are center right. They're erratic everywhere. Every single lock is like this. Even if you have complete machine precision, all locks have that flaw. Every single one, which is why every single lock can be picked. It's just a matter of degree of security. So when you put the tension on it, you seize all these pins up. Now, what you then do is you take, in this case, with single pin picking, you take a lock pick, and you're going to go in and you're going to recreate the bidding motion by moving those pins up and down. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stand up. I'm going to stand behind the camera so I can show you all easier how it looks. Because you can hear me better. So what you're feeling for here is that Schlage pins are going to feel loose. You're trying to find the one that is really tight and doesn't want to go in. And then you kind of push it into place, and once you can feel it, and in this case it's noisy, but if you hear it, it's click. And when it does, it is loose again. So then you find the next one that doesn't want to go anywhere. Right? And if you can't remember all of that, just remember this. When you go in, you have your tension on, you're picking, shoot your pins like your siblings. Keep poking at them until they give up. So as you can see, they're all erratic here. I'm going to put some tension on it. And I'm just looking for those pins that are binding, and I'm just setting them into place. And eventually, just like with the key, all those driver pins will be on the top of the shear line, and all of the key pins will be at the bottom of the shear line. And when that happens, that's going to create the gap, and that will allow me to turn the cylinder, and the lock opens. Ta-da! I'm going to close it, and I'm going to do that again without commenting, so that you all can see how this works again. Take the tension, I'm going to go in, I'm just going to get those binding, and we're open. See how, oops, sorry for the wiggles. See how fast I can be? Now, there's other special, more techniques you can do. Once you're more comfortable with that, and I always teach single pin picking before this, because it's like learning how to run before you know how to walk, you have raking. And raking is a similar thing where you have, rakes usually have a bunch of series of bumps or notches or whatever, and what you're doing is when you put tension on, you're moving back and forth and up and down the same way, same pressure and motion as brushing your teeth, and it will vibrate all the pins so that they line up at the shear line, and the lock will eventually open. Oh, sorry for these wobbles, I swear to God. And usually, on a low security lock, raking is way more faster and easier than actually picking. In fact, me me and a bunch of other expert lockpickers, even lockpicking lawyers, before they'll try picking a lock, if it's like an actual business thing, and of course now this doesn't want to comply, they will usually rake it first, just to see if it's rakeable, and also just to save time. Now, a lot of people often ask, well, if raking is so easy and quick, why don't we all use raking? Well, that's why we're going to get into this lock over here, because this lock actually has security features, mainly probably, as I understand that Nite0wl said, security pins that prevent and make it more difficult to rake. Okay? So, as I said, learning how to rake before you have a single pin pick is like learning how to run before you learn how to walk. I have a lot of particularly like magicians or survivalists, preppers, who learn how to rake before they learn how to pick. And they usually come to me to teach them how to single pin pick because they eventually run into a lock that has real security with it. And thus they try to teach us. Now, what really sucks, and I'll do this when we do the episode again with dissecting, I just realized I was originally supposed to bring out the two types of security pins, the spool pin and driver pin, spool and serrated pin locks that are cut through to show how security pins work. I'm pretty sure there's some of those in there. We won't know until either A, we dissect it, or I tie down Nite0wl and try to get him to confess what's in here, which could also be impossible because one, he's an expert escape artist. So that's a neat factoid. He has a huge ass collection of which we'll eventually cover later this year, handcuffs and other restraints that he knows all sorts of ways how to get out of. I mean, basically, like, you ever see a magician who, like, is an escape artist, and most of those are optical illusions? He does theatrical reel with real restraints at even faster speeds. So, one. Two, the guy is a scary man. His beard will strangle me to death without me doing anything, never mind the rest of his giant muscular body. So, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm going to disassemble this locker. In fact, he's probably really busy right now. I'm actually shocked that he's not on stream yet, unless he is and is silently laughing at me. Because I was going to ask him a ton of questions about the locks that we made. So now that we have that refreshed, I'm going to go sit back down. We're going to spend the next 10 to 20 minutes about the door locks that Nite0wl made for me. So a bit about Nite0wl. Nite0wl is an absolutely fantastic human being. I'm actually going to quickly go on the interwebs, and I'm going to show you where you can find him. He's probably the most prolific on Twitter. So here is his Twitter right here, which is twitter.com/Nite0wl. And he normally goes to the TOOOL NYC meetings. However, they haven't had those in a while, simply because, and very obviously so, the pandemic that has now turned into an epidemic. I miss those meetings. They used to take place at Hack Manhattan. I don't know if they'll ever come back. I really hope they do come back one day. So the other place where Nite0wl usually is, and I'm bringing up here, is, where are you? I know you are here, somewhere. Oh, come on, really? Where are you? Let's try this as a search engine. I love how I'm getting, like, links to, like, Nite0wl from the Watchmen series, then Nite0wl himself. Well, that's an old video. Wait, does he have a YouTube channel anymore? I'm pretty sure because that's what I'm trying to find, because I know Nite0wl has a YouTube channel, and we follow that YouTube channel. Here we go. So his other thing that he's really common on is on YouTube, and you can find it here at youtube.com/c/Nite0wl, or I think it's OWL, I'm not, let me just check. OWL. Yes, and sometimes he shows up in SE Lock and Key. And again, one of the reasons why he made us these doorknobs that you see over here that I'm going to bring into the forefront is simply because he is also a registered locksmith in New York City. Now, the funny part about that is that he was a lock sporter long before he was a registered locksmith and started his own practice. So that's to show, because a lot of people think that most lock sporters, and a bunch of them are people who are locksmiths. There's a bunch who are. But you can also go the other way around, where you learn how to do this as a hobby or something, and then you end up just becoming a locksmith. I mean, it's kind of not too hard to see how, because eventually you want to take apart locks to A, show that you picked them, and 2, you're curious about what's inside of them, which makes you then learn how to maintenance locks, and then all you need to do is get an apprenticeship and some certs and your own band that you slap a giant logo on, and guess what? You are now a registered locksmith. So that happens. So the also thing about this is that he's a licensed one in New York. We're from New Jersey, okay? We're from Jersey. So what we did was we sent him specifications. I just sent another test message. We sent him a bunch of specifications of what we wanted in terms of like security, basically that lock pickers and other hackers would have a hard time breaking into them. And he built that to us, and we picked them up, and then we installed it ourselves. And when I say a door lock, let me tell you the difference here. So, as we saw with the padlock, the core for a padlock, and which is the example over here, a door lock, is the same. It's the same pin tumblers. You have the Bible up here, key pins, driver pins, all that. What makes it really different is the actuator and the methodology. So on the padlock, the actuator is the mechanism that holds the shackle. Okay, this is why these are portable locks. You can put them on anything. And because of that, 99.7% of all locks turn clockwise. You don't pick counterclockwise. It will never open. They turn clockwise. Okay? A door lock, its entire rotation depends on where the actual bolt is for the door. So, if the doorknob is on the right, that means you have to turn it. Usually you have to turn the key to the left because you are pulling that latch from right to left. So you have to turn it from right to left. If this was on the right side of the door, typically you would turn it from left to right to pull that latch from left to right, which is why when you disassemble a lock, and this is why TOOOL's practice Schlage locks are like this, you can actually use the tension either clockwise or counterclockwise to open because they're not connected to any bolt. When they are connected to a bolt, like with the challenge lock, you have to factor that in. In fact, you can end up in a position where you pick open a lock and you actually pick it in the opposite direction. So it's picked, it's open, technically, but it's not open because the latch hasn't moved because you picked it in the wrong direction. And even though I don't have one right now, it's one of the last things I'm going to get just because it's not on a priority for me in terms of what I need to do, which is instruction. Also, mosquitoes have been eating me alive, so I have 2 mosquito bites here. I don't have monkeypox. These are not monkeypox. I've been eaten alive by 2 mosquitoes. In fact, I was actually going to originally say on air, even though it's healing very nicely, that a mosquito very recently bit my lip, and it looked like a bee sting. I have a picture of literally the upper right side of my lip being 5 times larger than the rest of my lips, and it felt like it was made of rubber, and it was sometimes in pain, but it was numb most of the time. It's like I had a dead fish for a lip, so just putting that out there. However, if you accidentally pick it the wrong way, there's a tool that I don't have. It's called a plug spinner, and it does exactly what it sounds like. You pick the wrong way, so you carefully keep the tension on, take your tools out, you put in the plug spinner, take out the tool, and it spins so fast in the opposite direction that you want that the pins don't have any time to fall down and reset. So now it's picked the right way, and you can open the door. Basically, it is a cheat card. It is a get out of jail card. It is the oops I fuck up restart reboot card. So you don't have to reset the pins and then pick it all over again, but the right way. And I can try a little bit on this lock. This is an example of a door lock. I think I've only picked this one open once. And actually, a useful thing, which is what we're eventually going to do to the doorknob, is I'm going to use this very flat tool. And I'm going to use a technique that I'm shocked most people don't know about, where you take a tool that's completely flat edge, such as this half diamond. You can also do it with the city rakes. You stick it in all the way in the lock, all the way in the back, and then you push up, and that will push all the pins up. And then you slowly pull this tool out, and the pins are going to fall. And if it was quiet, which is not in here, as we listen to this song that we're probably going to DMCA for, I will feel them drop, but you could also hear them drop if it was quiet. And you count each one, and that lets you know how many pins are in a lock. There's probably 5 in here because it's a doorknob, but let's find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 5 pins. We can do it once again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 pins. We're going to do the same thing with my old doorknobs. And again, I can pick it in any direction, so for this, I'm going to use just Bomb the Keyway just to show a demo, and right now that the Keyway is trying to kill me here, and I'm going to use the monkey paw just so I have a better feel in here of what's going on. And the main problem, which any lock sport person is going to have with any lock on the planet, is that, and by the way, this is not my old doorknob, those are. This is just an example of what a doorknob looks like when you take it out of its shell. In fact, I believe this is particularly a deadbolt. Is trying to find what tension works. And you have no idea how many times in the past I have racked my brain trying to open a lock, and I'm convinced that this is like a Dom lock or an Asa Owlboy because of how difficult this is, only to then discover the exact tension I need in order to bind the pins properly so it opens, and I then can open that lock in a couple of seconds. So that's always going to be like my challenge. And another thing I've noticed, particularly if you have doorknobs that aren't reliant on the latch, so they're free spinning like this one, sometimes if I have a hard time picking it one way, like I do with some of the Sparrow's training locks, because those are also free legs that are designed like doorknobs, that sometimes I find it easier, whoop, I accidentally reset it there, to pick it in the opposite direction. Because when you do tension in the opposite in the other direction, you actually change the binding order. So sometimes the binding order is way difficult one way, and then if you try to tension it the other way, if you're able to, it's actually super easy to do. So that's the whole thing right there. I'm not going to get this open here because I really want to focus on my doorknobs, which I'll spend the next 10 to 20 minutes doing. But that's just an example of the difference between, where did I put it, a padlock and a door lock. So now we're going to get into the main course here, and I just want to remind again that even though I don't expect we're going to get a lot today because it's such a short stream, we are raising money for the National Abortion Federation, which educates, trains, and fights both legally and in person, not only the bad Roe v. Wade ruling, which destroys a lot of privacy rights and is the first domino in what's going to be many laws that are going to strip away rights for us in the United States, never mind those that are already stripped away from our fellow hackers and citizens that have uteruses, and their fellow friends who don't. We just think it's a good cause to support. So there's many different ways to do it. If you are on Twitch, we have a little widget below that will allow you to donate without leaving the live stream. We also have that QR code in the, where are you? There we go, in the corner where my thumb is, that you can scan and do it on your phone. And if you're just, none of that works, here's the direct link to our page where you can go and donate, okay? And, if you have a ton of money, if you have $20, $50, $1 billion, you can donate. We set our bar really low at $400 because we're going to be doing this charity drive until the end of August. As this guy just loses his charge unit and flies towards my face. However, often we reach our goal when people just donate $1, $3, $5, and they add up over time, and that has always pushed us over in every live stream we have ever done. So, now that I got that out of the way, let's go to our main course here, and let's look at these crazy doorknobs that I'm going to attempt to attack, and because Nite0wl is the equivalent of, I want to say like Majin Buu, and I'm basically Yamcha, if you get that reference. This is going to be hilariously pathetic for me. Pathetic meaning I'm going to lose, not that the locks are bad. So, this right here was the old doorknob, and I'm going to get grease all over my hands for this. Pretty standard looking doorknob. We both like black. We like all of our stuff is black. Our bags are black. Our tools are black. I'm half black, even though I'm the OG black. So we got this. Nite0wl got this one with nice black matte finish. You can tell by the wear of the color on the actual lock cylinder itself how many times we use the keys and how many times we have entered the keys drunk, tired, in pain, or frustrated. That made all the paint wear off. And similarly, he also made us this lovely Schlage deadbolt. Summer step, and you can see by the tail here, this is the same type of Schlage that the one that I showed you. So you can see, and you can definitely tell because it has that cranial cap system here that holds the core unit in place into the cylinder. If I were able to pull this out, I would normally use a screwdriver on these screws, and I might do so later on before the end of the stream. It would look exactly like this practice core that I have here for my fellow fans. Now, another thing to note, because again, my ex-roommate has the key. He's going to bring the key to me after this episode, because he couldn't get it before. Let's not go into that. But these are also keyed the same, meaning the key for the a little less secure, I guess you would say, but that doesn't matter apparently because of the way the insides are tough. Basically, the key for the deadbolt is the exact same key you use for the doorknob. It's used for both. That was a trade-off between ease of use and more security, because even a lot of times when you know how to pick one lock, that doesn't mean you instantly know how to pick the top one. Like even if you realize they're keyed the same, if it's a difficult lock, it's still going to give you problems. You have to be like lockpicking lawyer or Bosnian villain in order to kind of get to that like kung fu levelness. So we trade off. That was our only trade off between usability and security. Now, from my understanding here, and again, I wish I could bring the test examples. We're going to do this for the next like 10 to 15 minutes. These are chock full of security pins. I don't know what. I imagine there are spool pins. I imagine there's serrated pins. I imagine there's combinations thereof. The key pins themselves also might be serrated instead of just the driver pins. And there might be a bunch of other woozits and gadgets aplenty that I don't know what's even in this lock. I actually don't even know exactly how many pins there are, especially since I don't have the key. I never questioned that because it's Nite0wl, and I don't question his masterful work. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to find out how many pins there are in here. So I'm going to grab the half diamond again. We're going to do the same technique, and you can really see there's like a chunk-ass key pin right at the top right there. It's like super chunk. It's like a bullet. That's something jacked with a bullet. And I can actually see it's a red color too, so this is definitely from a pinning kit that a locksmith used because they usually color code their pins. Now I'm even more mad that we're not disassembling this on air this episode, but don't worry. Later on, I would say somewhere between the end of August till December, we will do an episode where I will have newer tools and we will properly disassemble this lock. So I'm going to do the same thing again. We're going to put that flat edge of this half diamond tool in. And we're going to pull all the pins up. Remember, I own this lock personally, and I don't need to use this lock anymore, so this is going directly into all the test stuff. And we're going to pull back slowly. We're going to count how many pins drop. 1, 2, I bet there's 5. 3, 4, 5. Yep, 5 pins. Let's do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You actually might be able to hear them on the mic, even with the music in the background. These are some chonk-ass pins here. Listen to this. I don't know if you heard that, but we tried there. So there's 5 pins in here. Now, we're going to try multiple techniques, and probably none of them are going to work, but we're going to find out, because this lock's supposed to be a pain in the ass, and I'm actually trying to figure out if it's easier to hold the deadbolt, which, by the way, I'll do the same test on, because they're keyed the same, so there should also be 5 pins, or if I should do the doorknob. I'm leaning towards the doorknob, simply because, well, the strings are actually shockingly strong on the deadbolt. It's actually hurting my hand, the spring tension almost. Oh boy. Little bits of wood fell out from the old door. The old door was a piece of crap. It couldn't fit correctly. The longer we use that door, the more it's warped. And basically, we kept arguing. Not only did they have to replace the door, they're going to have to replace the door frame. In fact, what they really need to do with our old apartment, dead serious, is to demo the entire building and then build a new building. That's really what they need to do. But just for ease of comfort, I'm actually going to hold this in my hand. And we're going to try a bunch of techniques using the bomb the keyway tension tool. And then we're going to, and now I have this like in-person audience right across from me. They're looking at me like I'm insane because I am. And we're going to see, we're going to try different techniques of the bomb the keyway. I'm I'm also then going to try to use the top of the keyway just to see if it makes any tension difference. I'm going to start with it clockwise. And in fact, we might use a different, this first thing is despite it being a Schlage, which means it's mostly just like a straight slit. And by the way, there's no way you can talk about lock stuff without making it sound like innuendo. I'm sorry, I tried. We all try in Tool. But there's like these little grooves that you can't see here that's actually making this thick tension tool hard to actually fit in the keyway. So I'm actually going to take out a thinner tension tool, like this one. That should work. Did it work? If not, I might have to actually just give up and use a top of the keyway tension tool as my default, simply because of how this is arranged. So, okay, so this is very loose. This is like shockingly loose. This one is taller, but this one might fit better. Okay, it does fit better, but it's taller. So this might be the Goldilocks one. Might. Keyword is might. No, that one's way too loose. So that one's too thick. This one does tension, but I don't know if it will actually. Okay, I'm gonna try this, but if this doesn't work for me, we're just gonna stick with top of the keyway, which is a little bit more difficult for me. And because I know how much of a big pain in the ass this is, I'm actually gonna start using my notch pick, which Sparrows calls the monkey paw, which has this amazing design that's literally a monkey paw. As it gets darker in here, so it's a bit harder to see. But we're going to use that on this just because I have better feedback. So I'm going to do super light tension on it, and I'm going to wrap up the tension as I go. There's also, I can tell by the grooves inside, there's a little bit of concentricness in here that's making it just that much harder to properly access the pins. Another thing I didn't think about is that because this is my old doorknob, and that, gunk and fleas and radiation probably did a woozy on this thing. I probably also should have got the lock lube and brought it here just in case I needed to loosen things up and spray it. But again, we are going to do a follow-up episode, so I will do that the next time. We're especially going to need the lube if we are going to disassemble this lock. So right away, I got one pin to kind of bind, but this, I can tell by just feeling in here that this is going to be a big pain in my ass. So already, Nite0wl, I think, has done his thing. I have basically entered fucking Elden Ring in the hardest zone right here, wearing a blindfold. That's what this feels like right now. There is like 2 pins that are so springy that I don't know if they'll connect. The rest of them are incredibly stiff. There's one that feels like it sets into place, but I think it's a serrated, and so I think I've set it twice, which means the notches are going up. So yeah, this is definitely a big pain in my ass right here. And also, to be honest, probably needs a good lube spray as well. After this attempt, I'm going to actually switch it to the other direction. I'm going to do it counterclockwise and see if that makes any difference, because normally ours open counterclockwise, but again, you have 2 different shear lines. You have like 2 different binding orders here depending on the direction, because now this is not connected to any bolt. By the way, it's 8:23 p.m. right now, my time. I just set pin number 2, that's the only one I've been able to set so far. They close at 9, so I'm going to try to at least end the stream at max 10 minutes before they close. And again, I just want to remind that if you do like me suffering because my mentor is an evil bastard, and like I requested, he made an evil fucking doorknob for me, which now I'm picking because everyone likes to watch me suffer, just like everyone likes to watch N Commander suffer on his stream. If you want to donate a good cause for my suffering, we are raising money for the National Abortion Federation because of the recent Roe v. Wade ruling. I'm now going to pick it in the counterclockwise position, which is actually also making the gripping part more difficult, to be honest. I actually might have to change my tension because of this. But yeah, I posted a link that's in chat currently. A Ooh, this is making this tool hard to get in this way. Shit. But yeah, I posted a link in there. You can also scan that QR code in the lower left-hand corner. And if you're on Twitch, we actually have a Tiltify widget that will go directly to them. Now, some might mention that there's a more direct organization. To be honest, we will also appreciate, especially if you can show the receipt, if you donate to your own local hospital, clinic, or abortion place. That's where they really need the money, even though the National Abortion Foundation does help out a lot of small clinics. However, okay, the reason why we went with the National Abortion Federation is simply because Tiltify only has X amount of charities, and unfortunately, the charity we really wanted was not on that, so we picked basically the next best thing. We've also advertised cryptocurrency-wise how to do a different charity, which I covered on the Polkadot episode. So this is already a pain in the ass to do it with the bottom of the keyway tension. I'm now going to try to switch, as annoying pop music plays, to a top of the keyway tension. We're going to do it clockwise and see if that makes a difference. And usually, in my experience, if a lock is more high security, like this custom Schlage is from Nite0wl, usually top of the keyway is the way to go with these. And you have like way more control over the tension and such. Okay, so that was 3, I think, is serrated, so I think I just set one of the serrates right there. Push this back. There's one of my main problems that I'm still learning with the top of the keyway tension wrench is a lot of times I will be like right on the cusp of picking it open, and basically the tension wrench just falls the fuck out right when I'm about to open the lock, and that resets all pins. So I'm still learning about that. So I have pin 2, I believe, set, even though that could be a false set. I haven't fit any counter rotation. I'm going to reset all the pins and then do it again. And pin 3, I've been able to move up 2 notches because I believe it's a serrated. The others, I have no clue. They're giving me no feedback whatsoever. I don't know if it's because I don't have enough tension or because Nite0wl did something incredibly evil and stupid to them. It's probably a combination of both, but we'll see here. And again, I'm going to say this near the end of the stream, and we're probably going to end in the next 5 to 8 minutes. But I will outline, because we have some, even the second episode this month, we have some really banger episodes that are coming out now that I've returned to Master of Unlocking. Because, just because I've been away on hiatus doesn't mean I haven't been planning for Master of Unlocking. In fact, one of the problems that I'm dealing with right now is I haven't been able to get new tools in because I don't have a postal address. So I'm right now either negotiating with a friend to use their postal address, or probably what I'm going to end up doing is getting a new P.O. box, because I used to have a P.O. box, and that place sucked. But I'm going to get a new one at a different place and buy tools there to be sent so that we can properly do more episodes. Like, for example, if I had that ability, I would have bought the 2 tools I was missing already, and we could have gutted this earlier. But, it's here or there, and we're on the stream right now. And I'm just happy that even if no one donates, and I will tell you this, even if we're not streaming, you can donate, and we'll still cheer you out when you donate and stuff on our next stream. We'll even cheer you out on social media if we're not live streaming. However, even if no one donates, I'm just so happy that I'm doing this and future episodes up until the end of August for such an amazing cause due to very recent issues. It's a cause that I would have supported in most of DCG 201 because we had to vote on it. Would have supported anyhow, but it's just nice to do something like that, as well as just that I miss all of you guys in 2 months. Yeah, lockpicking's been my thing. I've been showing lockpicking to other things. I should have wore this shirt. I was recently at not ShmooCon, I'm an idiot. I was at HushCon for barely the 2 days. I got the ticket, but I got so busy because of the stupid move. I think I was at the first day for an hour, and then the second day for like 3 hours. But I brought lockpicking there, and what really sucks is I thought I was able to go to SummerCon, but unless new tickets pop up last minute, I'm going to be online. I'm not going to be there in person. If I do somehow, if someone wants to like donate me or make me buy their SummerCon ticket they don't need, I will bring my entire lockpicking set to there, and hell, if they let me, I might even live stream a special episode for charity directly from SummerCon doing lockpicks. So we'll see there. I think I'm getting better feedback results with this top of the keyway tension wrench. However, this is still a pain in the ass. I think, if I can guess, I think there's 2 spools in the back. No, there's 2 spools in the back, a serrated, either normal or just a serrated key pin in number 2, and a spool in 1. That's going to be my hunch of what the pins are. Of course, I don't know until I take this thing apart, and we won't do that because I don't have the full tools. Because I lost 2 of them. I will do a future episode where we'll do a follow up on this doorknob. But yeah, this is definitely kicking my butt. So I'm going to relax my fingers in a moment. It's always good to relax. In fact, I'm actually going to bring out a special tool that I carry with me wherever I go. That all Locksport people should have. Now, some people have a shoe roll, which also works. I personally, because I'm a crazy person, I carry with me a grip workout device. So I have one of these. And this is something where now I'm also getting back into because I haven't used this in months. Not only does this help, this is medium strength, medium tension. Not only does this help me with my grip strength, which is important for lock stuff, but also I sometimes just play and push with it when my fingers get tired in order to relieve stress from all the stuff I just did. And you don't have to get something as complex as this. If you just get a smoosh ball like that you get at the office, you can go down to Staples and get one. A lot of times they give type of smoosh balls out for free at like business conventions and stuff. That also works as well. And this is a combination. GI Jack gave this to me. Thank you for giving this to me, GI Jack, years ago. Because not only does this fiddling allow me to just remove tension off my fingers, but it also just allows me to increase my grip strength so I get better at lockpicking. Not only just in terms of pure grip strength, but also more control over my finger strength. So, and then there's the usual like stretching your fingers out. Even though I'm in a rush because there's only a certain amount of time this place is open, when you're lockpicking at home or you're at a convention, you're not out in the field. You're not an EOD, in the military. You're not a spy or anything. You're not in the fire department. There is no rush. So as I tell my students, if your hands start cramping, stop, relax, talk to people, drink, read a book, play a video game or something. Just something so that you can relieve the tension off your hands. It's also good to note, because it's been a while, that a lot of times it's really good to pick locks while you're doing something like watching TV or watching YouTube or a Twitch stream or watching porn or just something. Because, and I'm going to do another test message now, a lot of times when we're lockpicking, we're over-tensioning and we're over-picking and over-setting pins because we're too focused and too stressed, even subconsciously, of us picking the lock. And you have no idea how many times I've been frustrated with a lock that I'll finally just load up my favorite Twitch stream or a YouTube documentary, and I'll watch it, and then all of a sudden the lock opens, and then I'm able to repeat that after a couple of times, and then know consciously how I opened that lock. So a lot of times it just relaxes your mind. This is also the real actual reason, besides the fact that a lot of us are professional alcoholics like myself, of why we bring alcohol to tool meetings. Not every tool meeting does, but a bunch of them do. I know the New York ones do, the New Jersey ones do sometimes. And that's because sometimes just having a beer or a glass of wine, just one, you're not trying to get drunk, you're not trying to party, just doing that and then picking the locks for the rest of the night, that just gives that ease of tension off so that you're limber enough, but still being able to concentrate enough to allow you to pick the lock up. So now that we did my normal usual, let's try other techniques of how to pick this open. Oh, actually, first technique we're going to do is we're actually going to pick this in the counter way. And someone just said the warning thing, I think, for how long it's open. So we're definitely going to end in the next 5 to 8 minutes. So I'm actually going to now try to pick this. Hopefully I'll pick it in a way where it doesn't escape my hand. I'm actually going to pick this in a really... Hold on. I'm trying to find the best grip. Let's see. Actually, the best way for me to do this is I'm actually going to hold the lock upside down. We're going to actually tension it counterclockwise, and I'm going to now see if I can pick this. I also don't know if there's any weird things with the bitting itself, to be honest. Like, I don't know if there's like a high-low-high or a low-high-low or something. It probably is, but so far I have not had to use like my medium hook or anything to reach around the other pins. I do know the bitting on top of my head, and while it is like up and down uneven, it's not insane. Like the pins are relatively flat, but that doesn't mean it's in compromised security. It does have good bitting on it. So basically, I'm not like trying to stretch around pins to set them and not set them, but is still giving me trouble and being a big pain in my ass. I have no idea if I'm tensioning them or not. Let's try this again. We're going to do one more solid try, and then we're going to go to other techniques that I've never tried because these used to be my door locks, and again, I used to rely on these locks even though I owned them, so I never got to pick them, and now that they're not on anything, I am just picking them on the stream. If anyone's in chat right now, by the way, how are you all doing out there? If anyone wants to talk. Because again, I love an active stream, and now I'm going to do this before the tension falls off. So that was that technique. Let's try raking techniques. This Nite0wl should have designed it to prevent raking, but you know, it doesn't hurt to try. So we're going to do bottom of the keyway tension. You almost never do top of the keyway tension when it comes to raking, simply because of the way it's set up. Now, I'm actually going to do these next bits, so I won't be able to see chat standing behind me, just because it'll be easier for me to hold, as well as easier for me to see. Plus, I won't vibrate the entire thing. So with some tension, I'm going to take this Bogota, it's a multi-Bogota, that's called a worm rake, because it has the peaks of a Bogota, the triple peak, but they're not as sharp, they're smooth over. I usually find this way more effective against most locks than normal traditional Bogota. So I'm going to put some tension on here, and we're going to slide this in and out, and up and down motion, and again, it shouldn't turn. In fact, it's already, not only is it kind of catching the rake, but there should be a certain amount of security pins in here that there should be no way. And I love that it's the "You Are So Beautiful" prom song. As I'm doing the most frustrating thing, it's almost like I'm serenading this lock. This went from a Schlage to a love lock really quick. Nope. Let's try this again. Reset. You can hear some pins drop. So I think that's why I think that second pin is at least a normal driver pin. It might be a serrated key pin, but I think it's a normal driver pin. Simply because I keep being able to set that, and there's no counter rotation, so I don't think it's a spool. Everything else, though, I think is a security pin. And it's kind of smart to have like one normal pin in a high security lock, because believe it or not, lock sporters are so used to picking security pins that sometimes just giving them a normal pin will actually do the reverse effect and throw them completely off. Let's try touching it the other way and see if we can still rake this open. I should also get out my city rake at some point and see if that works. Again, it shouldn't work because this is Nite0wl we're talking about. He's a lock picker. He's also a locksmith, which is how he was able to build his lock press in the first place. And he knows his shit. But, you know, it would be kind of funny if I was able to do a low-level attack like this and it actually worked. That would just be amazing. And funny enough, when I touch it the other way, it actually catches the pick. So I'm not able to really move it out in that way. So let's try another thing. Let's actually go for the city this time. Same bottom of the keyway tension. And this one is you're not really scrubbing, it's like a rocking back and forth motion that you're using. Let's try a different tension. Let's see if I can actually do this with the thick one. Fit this in. Let's fit in, barely. The problem is that the weird angle that it's at. Can't really connect with the pins. Let's try to go back to my normal one that I used to I can do anything with that. Yeah, there's a thing with the way the keyway is shaped, there's like ridges on the inside, and I think that's a security thing because it's making it really difficult. I probably would need a 15,000-inch version of the city rake in order to properly use the city rake. Because right now the city rake is just it's like inert. It just won't do it. Let's try it the other way and see if that proves anything. Yeah, there's like these screws in here, and they're just like, I'm trying to move around them, but that is just simply not going to happen here. So that defeated the city rig. I don't know if Nite0wl did that on purpose. He probably did, to be honest, with knowing him. But that's one that we can't unfortunately use. Now, let's try at least two more things. The next thing we're going to try is a type of raking technique that is known as zipping. And we're not going to do what usually people do with zipping, where they use the half diamond. Instead, we're going to use these strike pins, which have these really extreme wavelengths for their bidding. Basically, you put a bit of tension on the doorknob, and you stick it in, and you pull it out. And usually 1 to 5 zips of these on a low-level security lock will just allow it to open the door. I'm going to check chat in a moment, by the way. You can see someone posting in there. I just can't see from this angle. Actually, what I can do is I also have the stream on my Nintendo Switch. I'm going to bring it over so I can read what's going on as I do this. Listening while working on my list of physical pen test options for a pen test job my business is in the process of organizing for a company. Fingers crossed it will go ahead, as it will be a big deal for my business partner and I with my business. I'm going to count here. Let's see. Pen testing option, pen testing, business, company, business. So you said business like 3 times. It felt like you said business like 12 times, Darkbox. Good luck with that. Kind of how people are wishing me luck for like my promotion and stuff and raise to get me a home. Try this. That I also hope that works out for you, because one of the big things about lock people is there's almost no such thing as shameless promotion. We are still, despite people being popular at lockpicking lawyer and stuff, we're still such a small community that everyone knows each other. Let's try it in a different direction. Everyone basically knows each other, and we're all kind of struggling, like whether it's personal issues or business issues. So, like, in the same way I tell people, hey, you can come into your chat, and if you have a lock sport thing, you can totally promote it. I'll shout you out and stuff. I've also done episodes like with Kilamaru and stuff like that, highlighting people's stuff. One of the future episodes I'm going to do is I'm in the process. I already have half the stuff that LockNoob has ever designed with his various tools, and I'm going to actually review everything he has currently made. So that's going to be a future episode. I'm eyeing November or December for that episode. We're going to try a different wavelength here. And then we'll try one other last thing, and then I think we're done with the stream, unfortunately. And I expected to not pick these open, by the way, because it's freaking Nite0wl. He basically likes playing on hard mode. Fun fact about Nite0wl, if you ever go to his place, so he has one of those like Chad 3 monitor computers that he usually uses for hacking and business and stuff. But what's really hilarious that a lot of people don't know about him is he plays video games. He has a PlayStation 4. I don't know if he's upgraded since, but he usually plays like simple games. But he is a huge MechWarrior fan. And so the reason why he has like a monster gaming PC as his work PC is because he also has a giant twin stick with 8 million buttons next to his mechanical keyboard that sounds like freaking anti-aircraft fire when he types. And he loves playing MechWarrior games. And you know what's really funny? He was like Zen-like when he's lockpicking. He swears worse than a sailor when playing MechWarrior. Like, he's like, turn it over, get it, fucking goddamn it, fucking bastard, motherfucker, bastard. Like, he just swears up and down. Like, if you want to see Nite0wl, like, completely frazzled and annoyed out of his mind, watch him play any MechWarrior game with his giant twin sticks with 8 million buttons. If you want to see him in Zen mode, watch him do lockpicking and locksport and general locksmithing business stuff. Not to say that he doesn't probably stress out doing his business or teaching lockpicking and stuff. In fact, I know enough stuff from watching and helping out people behind the scenes that You know, we always look like we're calm and professional, but I swear we are always like constantly panicking at conventions because we have to get all that equipment uphill, and then there's equipment missing, and then it breaks during the conference and stuff like that. So yeah, these strike picks are not working. Because for the same exact reason the braking techniques are probably not working because of the different security pins in there. LOL just noticed that showed that I'm not paying much attention to from what I was like. LOL just noticed that Laugh shows that I'm not paying much attention to what I am writing on here. I honestly don't know what you just said there, but I'm also running on low freeze myself, so I'm just going to leave it be. I think the very last thing we're going to do is we're gonna see if the hybrid pick even actually three last things. We'll see if the hybrid pick really quick actually fits into the lock. This is where we rake on one side and pick pins on the other. Then we will try the front pick to see if that actually helps with its low narrow profile. And very lastly, I'm just going to do basic picking on the deadbolt because again they're keyed the same way. They should also work the same way. Picking, and then we're going to end the stream with Starbucks beginning to close. Let's see if this even fits. Kind of. It's catching it though. It caught it. I can't even maneuver it because, you know, that's a problem with the Medusa overall, and I was going to actually say this with the Lock News episode, is that the curve is too thick. I'm actually thinking of making a modified version of this. Like I'm going to get a blank and modify it to what I think Medusa AK Broom Slang should look like and perform like, but that's one of the biggest problems is that this only works in certain types of locks because of how big the tool is. So the second to last thing we're going to do is we're going to use some bond to keyway tension, and I'm going to use this Tron, which is very flat with a slight upturn hook, and we're going to see if that might even improve anything because of time I'm only going to do this one way. And this, I don't really use the Tron or to like if I need to like if I have a medium hook and I really need to reach around different pins and stuff. But that's just like not going to happen here because I didn't need to do that this entire thing. I think it's more of how the pins, the pins themselves, and a little bit how they're placed rather than any height arrangements manufactured that cause issues. So, yeah, it's not really affecting much. And then finally, and then we're going to wrap up the stream. I know, again, this is really quick. It's kind of a brief, like, hey, I'm welcome back, but trust me, the next episode is going to be super long. It's going to make up. It's going to be almost like 2 episodes that we normally do stuck together. And I will tell you about what that is in a minute, but I'm just going to try to do normal single pin picking, clockwise extension on this deadbolt, because again, they're keyed the same. Let me change out my picks here, which means that they should basically feel the same. It might feel a little different just because I feel like these have stronger springs, and also this is a deadbolt, and for some reason, I can't explain why, but a lot of times, even if you key them the same, deadbolts just feel way more different than doorknobs. And I can actually feel the same where I set to number 2, and 3 is springy, and everything else is just ultra stiff. It's like it doesn't even, none of these even want to go anywhere on like the doorknob lock. So yeah, that was my old doorknob made by Nite0wl. Lives up exactly to what I was hoping for, which is that someone who knows something like myself, but is not like a god in it, can't really pick this open. It's really freaking difficult. So he definitely did his job so far. So that was good. That means the entire 4 years we were living at that place, that we were truly protected thanks to Nite0wl and his owlness. So I'm going to move the camera back over so you guys are going to start flying again. Whoa! Look, this is amazing! How is he doing this? He can't get away with this. Hi. So that was our episode. As you can see, there's new people behind us. We have like 10 minutes left, but this should only take like 2 minutes to do. So that was us looking for that, and that was also another test run for the charity. I honestly don't expect the normal episodes leading up to Hope for much in charity donation. I think Hope itself and DEF CON will do that. And for Master of Unlocking, that's what we're going to be doing. I don't know if it's going to be Saturday nights or Sunday during the day. It's going to be either, so Hackers on Planet Earth, which we're currently writing a guide for, is going to take place publicly July 22nd through the 24th. Probably the 23rd and 24th, but it could be either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, respectively. I'm going to be recording me doing lockpicks at Hope, and there'll be others there to teach. The camera's going to be pointed straight down the table, and I'm going to be teaching people. You're going to watch me actually teach people in person how to pick locks, and we're also going to. I'm also going to pick their brains too. In addition to picking locks, I'm going to ask them questions about Hope and if this is their first time, or if they have been to Hope before, which other Hopes they've been to, and what their experiences were, what they liked, what they didn't like, and a bit about their backgrounds and stuff. It's going to be, like a casual interview thing, but we're going to be picking locks. And that's the one I plan to stream for over 3 hours. I'm actually expecting a minimum 3 to 5 hours on that, if not longer. We're going to go on for a very long time with that stream. So that's going to be the next Master of Unlocking later this month. And some of the future episodes, immediately the first episode in August, we're going to be covering the tool stuff at Hope. I'm sorry, at DEF CON. And the other Hacker Summer Camp stuff. Now, I will put it this way. I was completely gung-ho to go to DEF CON and the rest of Hacker Summer Camp up until May. By the end of May, I realized how crazy the move was going to make my financial situation, which it has been, even though I'm doing okay. And because of that, personal, financial, timing reasons, it is extremely unlikely I'm going to DEF CON, which really sucks because I also realized that in the chaos of me moving to my storage unit, and I can actually take off the hat now since it's, I look like some sort of exotic, like I went to the hair salon or something. That's my actual hair. It's shrunk a bit because it's in that thing, but it's actually way bigger now. What was I saying? I actually was going to, that due to the chaos of me moving to a storage unit, I accidentally missed the volunteering, which if I could have done the volunteering for Tool, I would have been at DEF CON live streaming directly there. But it doesn't really look like. If I am there, I will definitely live stream directly from there. And if you see me at DEF CON 30, I'm literally going to be there as a tourist. I'm not volunteering for anything because I missed all the volunteering stuff. I missed all the submission for talk stuff there, except I might have a talk at Tool, but I'm going to let them process it. I am going to have a talk at Hope, by the way. I'm doing a talk. Me and Nite0wl, are doing a talk about the Hotel Pennsylvania that we used to be at the con and doing a whole retrospective on it, and everyone gets to share their stories. So I definitely have a talk for Hackers on Planet Earth, aka New Hope, this month. Next month, I might have a talk at Tool, but they have to confirm it first. But other than that, I'm just going to live stream and react to all of you guys what's going on with Tool at Hope. Maybe I'll open up a room for everyone to lockpick on virtually. That seems to be the extent of it. If I somehow do end up going to DEF CON last minute, like someone just decides to pay me to go or something, I will be there in live stream. But all my plans I originally wanted to do for DEF CON this year, even though this is the big year at number 30, I'm basically doing next year. Like literally starting in August, I'm going to book the hotel and the flight to there and all of that jazz. So I will definitely, I can say this confidently on air, that unless something really stupid happens, more stupid than what's currently going on now, I will be at DEF CON 31 and the other Hacker Summer Camp stuff. But just because of the last minute falling apart with the lease and me having to move into a storage unit and being technically homeless and stuff, that's the reason why I'm not going to be there. I will be at Hope, though. I will be at A New Hope at Hackers on Planet Earth. But some future episodes after that, I'm going to be finally doing the whole belt system thing live at our lockpicking, aka Lockpickers United. Like I said earlier, I'm going to be taking almost every single tool that LockNoob has ever built, and I'm going to be reviewing them on air. It's going to be a hilarious special. I will be doing a follow-up episode where we will actually properly dissect this lock. I am going to be doing an episode, these are confirmed, where I will teach everyone how master keying works and how you pin for that. And I'm going to be making, the same way I made those special color locks, I'm making a sequel to those to thoroughly show how that stuff works. And you're going to see me build them on air, and then I will demonstrate how master keying works. What else? There's still going to be that mysterious IKEA episode I'm going to be hyping up. And 2 episodes that I originally was going to do for Pride. Because originally the hiatus was to be 1 month. Because of this move and other things with schedules between everyone, lost that whole time. I'm repurposing those ones. One is going to be repurposed for the sex positive, sex hacking stuff that we're going to do in September. And then the other one I was originally going to do to Pride is going to be a more spookier version of itself in October. And those two you definitely don't want to miss. Oh, and also there's going to be an old lockpicking tool that I'm obsessed with that you can't buy anymore that I'm going to attempt to recreate, and I'm going to go over how I recreate it, and we're going to demo it on air. Hopefully not at the Starbucks. Not because I hate the Starbucks. Again, they've been very nice and everything, and very comfortable. It's just it'd be nice to be in a private room without coffee noise and people accidentally doxing themselves in the background. So, thank you for watching this episode. Again, the next episode, we normally would have streamed again because it's usually the first and third Sunday of every month on the 17th. We are skipping over the 17th, and we're going to be either streaming, and we will make the announcement during the week of the 17th. We will be making an announcement whether it's on the 22nd, 23rd, or 24th when we'll be doing the new Hope special for Master of Unlocking. We're also going to have Hope specials for Crypto Barons, as well as a return special episode of Circuit Breakers for A New Hope. So that entire 3-day weekend, there will be a live stream each day/night. One of the 3 shows that we live stream. We're also, again, going to have our meetings 2 Fridays from now on the 15th. By the 8th of this week, I will make the announcement for what that meeting is. It's going to be at Helen's Pizza from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. in Jersey City. It's a really cool place. You can buy pizza with cryptocurrency there, so you can, like, buy slices of pizza with Bitcoin and Litecoin. It's pretty nuts. And we're going to have some, like, all the talks I've been trying to get off the ground for the past couple of months, we're going to be doing there, and we should be able to live stream from there. And who knows, we might even be able to do some specials outside of that for this month. But that's basically, I'm going to see you all again for Master of Unlocking between the 22nd through the 24th, and I will see you guys for Crypto Barons on the 9th and on the 23rd and 24th, and then see you physically and online at the meetings on the 15th at minimum. So thank you for this glorious return. Hopefully when we get to the Hope section or even our meetings, we will get some donations for the National Abortion Federation charity drive. I'm going to post the link again of where you can donate, because you can even donate when we're not live streaming. You can also, if you're watching the video, still scan this QR code at the bottom left side of the corner, or if you're on Twitch, you can scroll down. There's a little widget to donate. Again, see you all soon. Thank you for the return. If you want to catch up on us, right now your best bet is to find out more information, including our guides, which we're going to finally post one of them, if not 3 of them, tomorrow on Hacker Summer Camp, which is now 2 months long. But you will get to see that guide right on our Medium at defcon201.medium.com. You can also check DCG201 out on Twitter at defcon201NJ or defcon201 on Instagram, and the hostducks.social instance of Mastodon, and all sorts of stuff. I just posted the link tree in chat where you can find all of that stuff right there. And we usually use this for CPFs, which is why you're going to see the tag in there. But if you want to chat until we get our proper IRC channels and sessions sorted out by the 15th, you can always join us on our Discord at the Discord link that we just posted in chat right here. So thank you for watching this very unusual, very short episode of Master of Unlocking. I miss this so much. Like, for real, I miss doing this so much with this particular show. I miss seeing you guys. I miss fiddling around with blocks. I'm just so happy that after 2 months of just gut-wrenching insanity and sad adulting, some of it I still actually have to do, that I'm back. If we didn't get DMCA'd, I'd be playing Guess Who's Back without me. Guess Who's Back from Eminem on here. So again, I will see you during the New Hope, which is the 22nd to the 24th, for Master of Unlocking. Hopefully you'll catch me on the new episode of Crypto Barons, my other show, on the 9th, this Saturday. And I will see you in person and online this month on the 15th, at minimum. And also, we're going to be doing some really cool guides for all the hacker cons going on in July and August, which includes A New Hope and DEF CON and a bunch of other cons. Some you may have heard of, some you have maybe never heard of before. They have different varieties, so I'm excited for that. So thank you for watching the show. Hope you check us out on our Medium blog. Hope you check us out on our social media. Hope you donate to the National Abortion Federation charity that we'll be doing for the next 2 months. We're going to get going now because Starbucks is going to close. Hack the planet. Dirty Jersey represents. And remember, I don't really know what to say for the remembering part now. I guess remember is that there's nothing really to remember. All I'll actually say while this annoying sound goes off is thank you, Nite0wl. Thank you for being not only a mentor to me in my lock sport and, you know, encouraging me to do this show in the first place, among other things, and giving me really solid advice over the years, not only in locks, but in real life. But also just before I even did lock stuff with Nite0wl, we're friends. And so thank you, Nite0wl, for not only being an amazing locksmith and lock sporter and hacker, but thank you for truly being an amazing friend to me and others throughout the many years. Hope you check him out both on his YouTube, which I'm going to get in a second, and these are the last things I'm going to post. I hope you get him. I hope you're able to check out his YouTube at youtube.com/c/Nite0wl. And also, there you go. I also hope, let me get rid of that timestamp. I also hope that you are able to check him out on his Twitter, which is at twitter.com/NITEZW, NITE0WL, which I posted in the chat. Thank you so much, Nite0wl. This episode was dedicated to you, even though it's a really crappy setting, but what could I do? Enjoy yourselves. If you are on Twitch, stay tuned. We're about to raid another channel, so say hi to them. Peace, everyone, and enjoy the music. Thank you for welcoming the return of me and Master of Unlocking. See you all later this month. Peace, everyone. Enjoy the music. Say hi to whoever we raid. Hope you learned some stuff.